And yes, you can swear, Tareth. You keep asking. Anyway, what's up, Vex heads? We are live, or probably more accurately, live to tape, I guess, since I have not made any announcements for this. But we've got a secret surprise bonus roundtable about ICV 31. We will introduce the players here shortly. But yeah, just wanted to, now that ICV, the international conference, is over, we've got some of the all-stars, and we're going to give you our honest opinions on it, things we liked, things we do differently, and little fun odds and ends here and there. So Tareth, you seem like you're raring to go. Would you briefly introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, favorite flag, how many ICVs you've been to, all that stuff I sent you via WhatsApp.
Yeah. And as I was telling Carlos, I've obviously done all of my homework. I'm Tareth Peacock, because it says it on the name here. I run a little Flags and Focus channel, which is not supposed to be against Flag for content, but let's face it, it's doing far better. I've only been to the one ICV VC because I still can't spell it, and it was an education in more ways than one, and an eye-opener. And you want my flag now, do you?
Yeah, go ahead and give us your favorite flag so we get a feel for you as a person. That's everyone's defining characteristic.
Absolutely. So I mean, this is a bit, I've got so many favorite flags. However, for some reason, I've chosen South Korea as my current favorite one. It's quite liquid. No, fluid, that's the word I was looking for. Right, my favorite. But that's, the flag isn't liquid, just my way of thinking. Yeah. So yeah, this is currently not on the flagpole because it's here behind me. And we're hoping to plan answering another question that Leigh hasn't yet asked me about what happens after the next excursion. Well, this is hopefully where I'm off to at some point in 2027. Right, rather
spoiler
excited.
Alert.
So yeah. So I've got to fly that one. And all the yin yang and the various 4 different out of 8 markings that cover it. I could go on and on, but obviously
you could, but that's for a normal episode of the show.
Yeah, good.
Let's. I'm just going to move around the way things are formatted on my screen. We've got Michael Green next.
Hello, I'm Michael Green. I run Flags for Good. This is my second ICV. I went to Ljubljana as well. My favorite flag is Canada, and kind of why I'm wearing the Canadian roundel, but I just like the fact that it's a beautiful design, and I love that it changed, and it shows that flags can change, and they can be well adopted, and it can be a better thing to change your flag.
Right. Fair enough. And what was the other? How many NAVA conferences or national?
I had to count. I said I think it's 5, but the online ones are kind of like, do you count them? Do you not? So
right.
I think,
but we will.
And also, I'm hosting the 60th NAVA here in Indianapolis. So I hope anyone watching and everyone here on the thing will be in Indianapolis, October 9th through 11th. We are going to everything we talk about in this podcast, we will do better in Indianapolis.
Yep. We're taking it all into account.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to walk you to wanted to get there for sure.
Thanks.
Next up we have Mr. Leigh Wetherall.
Hello, Andy. Hello to the Flag for Content audience. Yeah, so I'm Leigh Wetherall. I'm the chief executive of an organization called the Flag Institute. We are the UK's kind of national vexillological association within the UK. I had the pleasure of meeting you all in person in Paris. So my favorite flag, I love the Brazil flag. I love how it depicts one evening in 1889 when the proclamation of Brazil becoming a republic was, witnessed, looking up at the constellation in the stars on the 15th of November, 1889. I love that symbolism. Paris was my second ICV. I was actually, unlucky enough to be general secretary for the 2017 ICV in London. it was my first flag gig, actually. I was kind of thrust into the upper echelons of the flag community from nowhere, because of the then general secretary kind of stepping down, and I kind of stepped up to be general secretary to deliver one of the 5 most memorable days of my life, actually. ICV, ICV 27, and have kind of stuck around since. And since 2017. So one of my multiple roles as chief exec of the Flag Institute is to deliver the Flag Institute conferences here in the UK. And I hadn't counted them, so thank you, Andy, for prompting me to count them. But I've actually delivered, organized 18 conferences here in the UK. And how we kind of do it now currently is we have an in-person conference in the spring, online conference in the autumn, late autumn, winter.
Okay.
We've hosted them in Birmingham, London, Manchester, York, Bristol. The next is in Leicester. So we kind of take it on the road for spring. But at the moment, we do our winter conferences online because in the UK, 37% of our members are overseas. So it gives our overseas members and our overseas speakers the chance to, deliver, virtually. So yeah.
I am soon to become one of those overseas members as well. I know someone recently sent me a code I can use to sign up at a
Great.
little bit of a discount. So yeah.
I hope you'll that also, Carlos.
Yes.
Yeah, I
please.
was hoping you didn't call me out because I'm like, I forgot that I had to do that.
Well, hey, no, Leigh, perfect segue into our definitely fourth, fifth, whatever, guest. But least but not, I don't remember. This is live, so Carlos, take this away from me, please.
Andy, for the millionth time, I am Carlos Morales-Ramírez, not Rodriguez.
I swear to God.
So please make sure you get that right.
Hey, that tells me you listen to the
content.
Patreon. You listen to the Patreon then? Okay, great.
Still, Ramirez, Morales-Ramírez.
I know it.
All of you have a connection to flags, so I wanted to make something up, and now I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm a geography professor, but I love flags. And I was going to say my favorite flag is Christmas Island, but I think I said that in one of the episodes. But since I am all in pineapple, I remember that one of the towns in Puerto Rico has a flag with a pineapple, and I love it.
And a Nordic cross?
Yes, this is Lajas, Puerto Rico. So I will go with that one. That's my favorite flag today.
That is amazing. Yeah. I'm impressed not just that you know it, but that you have like the desk flag version of it. San Sebastian being that being your hometown is a little less surprising, but
yes, that one is there too. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, cool. I think that pretty much wraps it. Well, I'll give my own very brief one. This was my first ICV, so first like international flag conference. I had just missed Ljubljana, but I think the first anything I saw of you, Michael, was your videos on Lake Bled, I think.
Oh.
When I had first discovered Flags for Good and then was getting into your like social media a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So
I
was
similarly
angry I missed that.
I bounced out of that conference multiple days to make that video.
Yeah.
Well, also ICV in Ljubljana was in the height of COVID, so like that was kind of weird, and so
right.
I took every opportunity to go outside and film that video rather than sit in the conference room.
Yeah, no, that's actually that plays into kind of one of my first questions for you guys was or is like those of you who have been to multiple international conferences, how would this compare to those? Michael, you briefly mentioned Ljubljana, but that was what year? That was 2021?
Yep.
Yeah. So other than the obvious like COVID differences, masking, distancing, things like that, anything like of note, kind of like formatting wise, anything like that? And this goes to anyone who's been to another, Leigh, yourself obviously included.
I think what I quite enjoyed, and again, I didn't go to Beijing, San Antonio, or Ljubljana, was how they kind of group themes together,
Mm.
um,
Yes.
which I quite enjoyed. So if you had a specialism, or you had a particular interest in an area of vexillology, you could sit in a morning or an afternoon,
Mhm.
rather than, as we did in London, or I don't recall, I mean, it's a long time ago now, but I don't recall us kind of grouping those kind of themes together.
I don't think it
So,
was.
if you had, let's say, if it was symbolism, or if it was, a particular area of history, you could kind of sit in on those mornings, rather than it being kind of a more haphazard kind of program. So I particularly enjoyed that. I must confess that I was only there for 2 days, so I sat in every
Sure.
presentation I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was impressed with that kind of, that kind of programming. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that too because my first ICV was London as well, and then Paris was my second one. Um, and I don't think they themed the presentations because I even remember I was doing something with animals on flags, and I went after someone that was just talking about the flags of, I think it was US territories. Because I
Mm.
remember he finished off saying that one of the territories was getting a new flag. And then it was my presentation. So I don't think they were themed, but I did like that because, like you said, like it tells you kind of briefly what those presentations are going to be about. So you can skip
yeah.
them if you're not interested, which I always find really, really useful.
I mean, yeah, honestly, like it helps you plan your day for lack of like we'll get to like surprises in a few minutes. But like it helps you plan your day around ones that like, okay, I definitely don't want to miss that. If I happen to be here for this one, cool, I'll catch that. But uh yeah, the scheduling was great. I kind of wish Nava did something similar to that. I don't know how feasible it is given it's shorter and
Yeah, I think
um
there's only 9 talks at NAVA this year because
yeah,
they're trying
yeah.
to do more like workshop thing. There's other things like workshops, panels, and then
Right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So and then Tareth, you said you've been to some of the what are the Flag Institute's meetings called?
Are they conferences, Leigh?
We
No,
are
they're not conferences.
conferences. Yeah,
They
yeah.
are
I mean,
conferences.
we used to be meetings, when I first started organizing them in late 2016, and it just seems a little bit busty. Um,
Thank
meetings
you.
were suggest Meetings were suggested there's an agenda. It's a closed off group of people. And it was kind of, there was a bit of pushback by the council, Flag Institute Council, when I made that switch to conferences, but it just opens it
Mm.
up, and yeah, we call them, Flag Institute conferences. It does what it says on the tin. Yeah.
Leigh and I
Right.
talked about that because
Yeah.
I was trying to push NAVA to be a conference, and they pushed back very hard and said
Yeah.
no.
Are they still referred to as meeting?
Yeah, because I think in a lot of their minds, it is, we are a group, we are meeting in person, but it is not sort of, and I just like the fact that conferences are like, hey, if you're just a person who's tangentially interested, you're still welcome, and like, I just don't know if NAVA's ever thought of it.
I think the important difference is that with regards to the Flag Institute, we're open to the public.
Mm.
You don't have to be a
Okay.
member to attend one of our conferences. And our last in-person conference, 2-day conference, which is in Bristol, we did promotion in like Bristol listings. When we had a few people come along who were not members.
Nice.
Which is great. It's great on the recruitment drive for Flag
Exactly.
Institute membership. But you don't. Yeah, we're certainly not a closed off group, and I think that's that big kind of differentiation there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tareth, I was gonna ask because obviously I know what NAVA meetings are like. I've never been to a Flag Institute conference like we just talked
Yes.
about. I was
Yeah.
wondering like the I don't know, any format or well, just any differences between the ICV and those conferences.
Well, apart from being much shorter in duration, because it's
Sure.
over a weekend, and Leigh, jump in when I say something horrifically wrong here, because obviously I'm guessing you know a little bit more about these than I do. But the two that I've been to, York and Bristol, yeah, they're much more. I don't want to say personal affair, but it was much more closer knit. I don't know. Maybe it's just the room and everything as well. But and obviously, the number of talks we've got is less as well. And the second day is very different. That's an out and about looking at the being guided on guided tours and what have you of the local.
Okay, so there is
areas
still
and
that
what have you.
aspect.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Nava has their meetings have a hands-on day or half day, whatever, where we go to usually a museum, something like that. Sometimes a motor speedway, if you will. But okay,
Of course.
yeah, I guess that's without directly asking that, I was curious if they had that kind of hands-on out in the world day as well. Okay, wanted to move on to, let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly how I worded it on WhatsApp, but basically, biggest like surprise, biggest, yeah, I don't know, the thing that surprised you the most at ICV, whether you've been to them before or not. I'll go ahead and start with mine, and this is, I don't know if it's good or bad necessarily, but when I was going back through my pictures, and I know I said this on the Patreon too, but I was a little bit surprised by how sparse attendance was in the room, by how many open seats there were.
It was a big room. Yeah,
it was a very big room. But I guess just in my head, I was like, Nava is, this is the international one. It's drawing from like a bigger pool of people. So in my head, anyway, I was like, well, there will be more people there. But there really were about the same as like a Nava meeting.
yeah.
And of course, like the reasons for that being like, cost barriers to travel. The tickets to this one just in general were not cheap. Like there's reasons for that, but it surprised me a little bit that it was about as attended as a annual NAVA meeting. Again, yeah, for better or for worse, just something I noticed, I guess, would be mine.
I can give you some info on that actually. So,
Okay.
With regards to what pros and cons of an ICB is of course the cost,
Sure, yeah,
and arguably the length. 5 days is pretty heavy going, even for a vexillologist.
yes, yeah,
That's not why I was there for only 2. I had other commitments in London. The
sure,
rest
sure.
Sure.
Now, the reason it was sparse capacity is because, and it's nothing to do with the program, the Congress Vexillology. It's simply because, so speaking to Nicolas Hugo, who was one of the
Yes,
committee members that organized,
tall
we
guy.
throughout the planning, the year and a half of planning, we had a smaller auditorium. They had a smaller auditorium of about 150 next door. But because it was a heat wave, that auditorium had no air conditioning, which is why they gave us the 400-person auditorium.
Okay.
Had AC?
No extra
Yeah,
cost. Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was. I mean, the air conditioning had a pretty tough job on its hands in 38-degree heat in Paris. Yeah,
it did. Yeah. Okay, well, that I mean, that definitely does shine some light onto it.
yeah,
that tracks.
yeah. So
Anyone else?
that's some intel there on the.
No, please, yeah, that's what I'm here for, and what somebody later will watch this for. It doesn't look like anyone is right now, but yeah, I do love this kind of like inside track here. Yeah, anyone else on surprises, good, bad, or neutral?
That was going to be mine. Was how hot it was.
Yeah.
In Paris in general, not specifically the space.
Right.
Like Paris was going through a huge heat wave at the time. People were jumping into the Seine and dying. So the fact that if you've never been to an ICV or a NAVA, a lot of people come in suits. My biggest surprise was that by Friday, people were still wearing suits.
Why?
Yeah, same.
Because that room was an oven, and to learn that it had AC blows my mind. Well, also the seats were like velvet. You know what I mean? So like it was not a breezy place. It was very warm. And so the fact that people still were wearing suits on Friday blew my mind. Did you bring 5 suits? Because I know you sweated through at least 2. You know what I mean? And second, like, take your jacket off, bro. Like, it is so hot. I showed up in short shorts and a tank top on one day, and I literally looked so out of place. But I was just like, I'm not sweating in these seats. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was in the very back where, like, oh God, I don't know. It was hot everywhere, but yeah, I was just in the back. I took off like unbuttoned my short sleeve button up and just had like what do we call them in 2026? Like an A shirt, a tank top. And that is not my look at all. So for me to be just like in the back, splayed out like that, just trying to get any kind of air, like, yeah, it was bad. Carlos can relate, having the fan at all times, which was a great call.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm tropical. I'm from Puerto Rico and I love my heat, but come on, not 24/7. I'm like,
Right.
like,
Well,
no.
anyone have surprises that are not based on capacity or climate change?
I think that it was less my surprise, but it was more the surprise of other delegates' faces when they realized. So I was master of ceremonies on the Tuesday. Myself and John Hall, chairman of the Flag Institute, we were given the Tuesday morning to be Tuesday morning to be master of ceremonies because the lineup was predominantly Flag Institute members, which was very sweet of them to give us the master of ceremonies role. The surprise was more other delegates' faces when they realized I was not multilingual and I couldn't do my intros in French. Someone who will modestly say that I have a relatively good grasp of the English language. When it comes to other languages, I falter. I'm embarrassed. So other master ceremonies on the Monday, they were introducing themselves, the presentations, the program in English and French, but I just brushed over that.
Yeah.
Because it was it was an entirely Flag Institute morning. So if you didn't understand English, you regrettably wouldn't be there. So that was the surprise I saw on others, Andy.
Yeah. French people acting surprised when people don't speak French is time-honored tradition, I think. So
yeah, time-honored tradition.
So my remembrance, that was not
especially
the case.
So. Yeah.
Carlos, am I wrong that was not the case in Ljubljana? Like everything was in English in Ljubljana, right?
I wasn't in Ljubljana. I've only been to like London and now Paris. And I know.
How was the English in London?
In London, I remember they allowed the presentations to be in
several
languages.
I find it difficult to just
the presentations were like, there was a presentation in Portuguese, I think. There was one in French.
What's that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they did allow the presentations themselves to be in other languages.
Yeah. There would have been, so actually one of the guys, Patrice Lecondomine, who was on the ICV 31 committee, he doesn't speak English. So yeah, that would have been in French. I don't remember Portuguese though. There was, of course, so following. Oh no, we did actually have the Chinese Vexillological Association in London. They delivered a presentation in London that was in Mandarin. So yeah, there was that. There was that multilingual kind of element there in London. So,
and I mean, just like to right off of that a little bit, like, yeah, the more technology advances too, the more that's going to become not just feasible, but kind of the norm, I think. Like with the Mandarin speaker that was there, both, if he presented, I missed that, which is my regret, was showing up a day late. But yeah, like asking questions during the Q&A and just letting the translator app on his phone do it, like that's going to become more and more prevalent, I think, to all of our benefit. But okay, yeah. Anyone else on surprising things or anything else you wanted to bring up in that vein?
I think and this is something that I have brought. Oh, sorry, Tareth.
No, go.
I have a different one that's not related to that. I think I am still surprised that these presentations are 20 minutes or more in length, and that they allow also for a very long period for Q&A. I'm used to, and I don't know if this is only geography, so I'm just going to say geography conferences in which they give you 15 minutes, 5-minute Q&A. And obviously it is intended for you to present your research, and you will miss details, but that's what the Q&A is for. And the idea is that afterwards, obviously you're going to mingle with people and they're going to ask you more
Right. Yeah.
about it. So the fact that they are still very strict on that time limit, and some people even get quote unquote upset if you don't present everything. Like in my presentation, which you talked about on the Patreon, make sure you join the Patreon.
Yep.
In my presentation, many people were like, "Oh my God, you focus so much on the methodology."
And
I'm
it's like,
like,
yeah, that was the name of my presentation. That was like
and
the meat of
yes. And then with me, when I present, if I present something like that, I know for the most part, people are not going to fully know if I say I'm using mixed methods. So, of course, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that. If I presented that exact same thing at a geography conference, then at that conference, I'm going to focus more on the flags.
Yeah, you don't have to spend as
Different
much time like
audience.
defining your terms and like your method. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I always find that surprising that people, and I'm generalizing, of course, but that most people do want those 20 minutes of nonstop talk, and they want those 10 minutes of Q&A, which we know it's mostly comments.
Yeah.
And you cannot make them understand, hey, you can go to a 15-minute format with 5-minute Q&A, and then that allows for even more conversations to
Yes.
happen afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, oh, and then people, of course, the presenters are not paying attention to the time, so then they go over, and then yeah, I was just like, please, can we go to 15 minutes, 5-minute Q&A, and then we can talk afterwards, and I'll ask you more questions.
And this is like one, I'm sorry to butt in here again, but like, this is one thing that I think Nava does, like, not, I wouldn't say super well, but a little bit better with the, like, you've got the cue cards, like, all right, you got 5 minutes left, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Like, I've never had to physically remove anyone from a podium, but gotten close a couple times. But like, I do think that there could be some better time management things like that. I'm not the guy to expressly figure that out, but like, I think in Nava we do at least at a certain point be like, okay, that has to be it. Like we have a schedule to follow that requires you to be done now, basically.
Yeah, you let me know, Michael. I'll tackle them down at Nava 60.
Yeah, you're in charge. You're in charge of the time cards.
Right.
I'll take the mic off, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
Tareth,
honestly, I feel like we do need someone to be better at moderating those questions. And I know that's been a pain point for you, Carlos, but like at this and at most flag conferences, it's like Q&A time comes and it's just people like, this is a comment more than a question. And then they just go on their own presentation for 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's like
5 minutes that we don't have.
Someone needs to clamp down on that.
Yeah. So again, constructive criticism, that'd be something I'd love to see in Prague, but yeah, we'll get there. Tareth, I think you had something else on this point or on
the
point?
biggest surprise. Yeah, the biggest surprise I had, apart from everything that you guys have already said as well, was on the Friday, the backlash I got when I asked a particular question about not centralizing.
Yeah. You almost got excommunicated, I think. Like,
well, Tareth, what was your question there? I missed that.
Right.
So
yeah,
the
go over it for the
about, and that's what resulted in my texting you, Leigh. How dare they? Was about standardizing the colors on flags, because they're supposed to call them azure and dark blue, navy blue, all the different blues that you could possibly come up. Why don't we introduce something like, a national Pantone is already there. Why are we not using that? And I fully agree that over time the colors will fade and change, and on an aircraft it'll look slightly different blue than it will do if it's flapping on a bit of I get all that, but my sort of coming from was, would that not make life a bit easier across the globe, that when we say that the blue for France is this particular Pantone one. So we all start in the same area. That's what I was trying to get at. But before I could even make that point, I had a barrage of no thrown at
You
me.
got crucified. I mean, like, honestly.
So you're pro different Pantones or anti-pro?
No, so I'm So I'm pro. I would go for standardizing, very specifics like the Pantone. But the following presentation, ironically, was about this very subject, just not using Pantone. It was using the I forgot what
RGB,
No.
I think. Or was it
No.
hex codes?
No, it was one I've never heard of before. Anyway,
It was like CYM. What is this?
CMYK,
Cyan-
which is
yeah.
what you would use for printing, which I guess
there you
is the
go.
most, but
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole presentation was about standardizing, wasn't it? It was almost the answer to my question, of which I'm sorry, but I then had to make a comment during the Q&A just to prove a point of going, my question
So
wasn't
you're part
stupid
of the
because we just had a
problem.
15-minute presentation about it. So, but
Right.
that was a surprise that there wasn't some sort of etiquette, I suppose, is where I'm coming from on all this, that we should appreciate, we're not going to agree with everybody. I totally get that. But we should at least appreciate people's different opinions, thoughts, and ideas. But that seemed to be lacking when I asked that particular question.
Yeah, and it very much was. And like, to a point that we previously made, like, that raises the barrier of entry to, like, casuals or like somebody who would want to kind of like sit in, learn a thing. Maybe they ask that question and they get, the response that you got, but it's their first time at any such conference or whatever. That would turn me right off. Like, just
Exactly.
however you worded it, like the etiquette,
stuff about NAVA way back when it was my first NAVA conference. I ran into that exact problem, not this thing, but like the fact that as a newcomer, I didn't know what to expect. And then it was so intense that I didn't come back for like 5 years. And like, maybe that needs to be talked about more, is like, we need to be friendlier, or I don't know, maybe create space. I know NAVA does like, hey, if you're a first timer, let's go to lunch together and blah, blah, blah. But ICV didn't have that, which I don't know.
That's a good, the first timers lunch. I didn't go to mine because I was like just immediately drafted onto the tech team to do all that stuff from the jump, from my very first NAVA. But I've heard from, like, I mean, even Katie, who goes to the companions ones, like, that helps, like, if done well, it sets a proper mood and tone and everything like that for all that. But okay, let's keep it moving on to things we were, I don't know, maybe pleasantly surprised with. Your favorite X, favorite Y, could be your favorite presentation, or just something that you didn't expect to experience there that you did. I think to start off with, like, I did not quite know what to expect from like the tables. I'm used to, like, there's always tables at NAVA meetings, in kind of the last few, they've been off to the side and almost like an afterthought. But I thought it was interesting. The Vex societies all had their like publications out, some for the taking, most for sale, but for a very small amount. Let's see, I bought like the Spanish Vex Society's flag. I'm probably getting some of the terms wrong, but like, and Patrice, the de la Condamine that we talked about, he was there manning his author's table with a bunch of books he wrote. I got to talk to him in French for 5 minutes before he realized I was not French, which I was a little, okay, all right,
Nice.
I'll take that.
Okay.
But, and oh, you should have seen his face when he realized I was not just from the US, but from Tennessee. He was like, hallucinant, quoi. Like, that's absolutely nuts. We didn't think any of you spoke French, but I maybe it's like painting with a pretty broad brush, but I was happy with the setup, like out in the lobby, when I did get to mingle with people, going to the tables and meeting just interesting folks that I'd never heard of before. So that'd be where I would start mine. But anyone else got some favorites or pleasant surprises?
I'll share my favorite presentation. It was definitely Michael Green. I
I've heard of him.
thought it was different. Yeah, he's a very humble guy. I think he's from Indiana. I'm not sure because we didn't get to interact much.
Ooh.
But I must confess, I was there the entire time, but not there for all the presentations.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bold statement to say his presentation was the best without seeing all of them. But based on the first few, I noticed there was a trend. And yeah, I like that Michael broke that trend, not only in the style of presenting, but also with the topic too.
Yeah.
When he explained it before the presentation, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be super bored. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. When you mentioned it, I was like, great, I'm going to lose. You all know I'm a sore loser and I'm there to win. Forget about being nominated. Everyone wants to win. Don't give me that. So if there's a competition, I want to win it. But as soon as he shared his topic, I was like, oh, damn, he's totally going to win. And you definitely didn't disappoint. I think it was, for me, the winner.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, not just for you. For what was the? Because I know there's 2 prizes. There's the one Brian got, but also this one.
Yeah, I got
He
the
got
one.
this from the French
That's the
Society. It
French-
was something
from
about
the- yeah.
culture.
That's right.
It was the French people's favorite paper, which I will say, as I was writing it, I was buttering their
You
croissant.
did a little bit of pandering.
Yeah. I knew my audience.
Buttered up
and-
their croissants. Yeah.
But it was true. I mean, the French were the first in a lot of the things I talked about. So,
Yeah.
I played up on that pretty highly.
I see
Thank you.
roundels in like my coasters are roundels now to me. I'm like, everything that's round and has to do with the flag just reminds me of Michael's talk. Yeah. The South
Yeah,
Korean
there you
flag
go.
behind Tareth there. Like, yeah.
I will say my favorite part. This is going to sound like I'm a terrible conference goer, but I did really appreciate how many coffee breaks there were. In the sense that the talks can run long, the talks can run short, and so having those breaks in there allows you to be on schedule more. B, though, the parts of these conferences, NAVA and ICV, that I enjoy the most is the camaraderie and the conversations that we get to have outside of the talks. The talks are fine and they're needed, and the academic part of it is why we come. However, my favorite part of the conference was out at night with y'all over some beers, just being nerds about flags in a completely unstructured format.
Yeah.
And like whatever it takes to get us together to do that is worth it. So like those coffee breaks, I mean, I got to meet people from all over the world. I got to talk about things that, they were interested in. So like that unstructured time, I think, is the most valuable time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
Go on,
Go on,
Tareth. Please, Tareth. Go.
I was just going to say, I was just following on from that. You're right, Michael. Apart from the evenings bit, which is a whole different episode to the football episodes.
Yeah, that's on the Patreon.
The having that time of meeting the people and indeed putting names to faces at last and having that interaction with certain people, but to be able to sit, at least have a minute conversation with somebody from China and then Taiwan, and let's not forget Australia and New Zealand as well. When do you ever get that opportunity face to face to come across such a vast, wide variety of people, which is fantastic. I mean, that was the experience that I took away from it, being my first. And I've never been to a conference where the audience is global in that way. So that was a fantastic take from my side.
Yeah. Likewise. Leigh?
Yeah, I think I was just going to say further to Michael's comment there. It's despite the breadth, the depth of the research of the papers that are being delivered, it is it is that community that draws you to any flag congress, flag conference, meeting, because you can cross paths with old friends that you've known for decades, or you could build new friendships as we did in Paris, that will last decades. I think when it comes, actually, when it comes to a 5-day Congress, as the ICVs are, it is that those people that, for me, draw you to go to Prague, to go to those 5-day Congresses, because I think, confessional here, it's actually the time spent with other people, other vexologists, flag nerds, that actually is the appeal. It's not it's not to sit from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. for 4 days listening to papers being delivered, because you dip in and out of those. But yeah, it's that kind of unique conversation that you have. It's those evenings out with fellow vexologists, from around the world, as we all were in Paris. I think that was a favorite part there. And also chance to explore a city which, regrettably, albeit walking distance from London, I'd never been to before. So
Great.
yeah,
Really?
certainly that. And Prague I've never visited as well. So in 2 years' time, it will give me the chance to explore another city with you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, go ahead and speak for myself and say I will be there. And echo Michael's idea from, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago in the WhatsApp of like, I mean, yeah, Michael, you said it best. It was basically like, hey, we might just like all just be able to go to Prague and hang out with each other and do like the main part, the part that we just talked about of the conference, without actually going to the speeches. Like, in all seriousness, I'm
Don't
sure
say
we'll
that
probably
here.
do
They're gonna
both.
know.
Oh, well,
Well, no,
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
like, we
say,
can do this every year. We could do it in the,
yeah,
interstitial year. We don't need
true.
a conference to do this. We could, if we realize, hey, we just like hanging out and talking about flags over some beers, like South
Yeah.
Korea, is that where you want? Get some
We
soju.
let's go to-
could do an ICV 31.5. Where we meet somewhere in the middle.
There we go.
Next
Down.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
0.5 conferences. I love it.
Yeah, like director's cut or something of the
Yeah.
It's wider, that's why.
Yeah. There we go. It's got a broad appeal.
Yeah, it is.
You just pick a night and we do a PowerPoint party and we give, 5-minute presentations and call it a conference 0.5.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
There you
go.
go. Like
Sold.
earn our keep or whatever. But yeah, yeah, fully agree with you guys. Like the camaraderie and having everybody, like, it's basically ICV 31 was a reason for us to all be in the same place at the same time. And oh, hey, it turns out there's some cool talks on flags here too, type thing. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Carlos, did you have anything on that? Any
Oh,
pleasant
yeah,
surprises?
'cause
Any favorite? Or wait, no, you did your favorite. It was Michael Green's presentation.
presentation. Yeah. But
Nice.
because I don't know, I thought you wanted both or one. I don't know. So I went with the presentation first. But now, after hearing everyone talk, I feel like my favorite is everything that you guys said. I think it was really nice because, again, I do remember Leigh, just as an organizer of ICV London, we did not talk. And I will never forget Tareth introducing himself because I was just like zoned out. And he's like, Dr. Carlos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't do that. Like, I was like, who's calling me Dr. Carlos here?
Yeah, what are you guys like in Heart of Darkness or something?
But yeah, definitely hanging out was a really nice experience because, of course, like Andy and Michael and I have been in person at the NAVA meetings, but then with the international folks, which I'm terrible with names, as you guys know, it's good to actually get to know them in person. What are you pointing at?
I don't know. It
My
probably makes
name.
more sense on his screen where his square's at.
Oh, the names.
Oh, yeah. On mine,
here
it's
I
like
remember
over here,
your
but
names.
whatever.
But then in person, I'm just like, yeah, the Swedish guy,
Is the Swedish guy Frederic? Because he would really be offended by that.
No. I made
Okay.
something up because I know I already called him the Norwegian guy.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, at least get that part right. Otherwise, yeah, he'll.
No. I made something up. I promise. I was not mistaking him.
Right. Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, yeah, I guess we're pretty much all echoing each other at this point, but it's just been so good to get everybody in the same place. Those nights out were so much fun. Leigh, I can't thank you enough for inviting us over with Roger and like all setting all that up, hanging out afterwards. And And like, yeah, oh yeah, and didn't even mention that's where Annie got her. Annie Platoff got her award or her like rank,
It was,
her
yeah, well, it's
position.
Annie. So one of my dear friends at the Flag Institute, Graham Bartram, he
Yes.
was FIAB Secretary General for Congresses for, God, 20 years, like a long time. Graham's health has taken a bit of a dive in the last couple of years, so he's having to step down. So yeah, Annie Platoff, after a vote, was promoted to FIAB Secretary General, which, as was spoken of at Roger's cocktail party on the, what was it, 25th floor overlooking the Seine, which was a memorable evening. Yeah, she's the first female, first woman, first non-male to be promoted to the the secretaries of FIAB, which is amazing. So yeah, big shout out to Annie.
Well, to Annie.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Annie. I'm sure I'll talk to her again before too long. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason I love going to the NAVA meetings is, I see 2 out of the 4 of y'all every year. And yeah, it was weird getting back to the States, just a brief tangent. It was weird getting back to the States and being like, oh, I can't just like hit up Tareth and see what he's doing, or be like, hey, Leigh, you want to go out? Like, Carlos, what do you like? You want to come fan me for a minute? Like,
Here,
I mean,
I'll do it virtually.
as a potential ICV 31.5, Annie is already lined up to speak at the Flag Institute Spring 27 conference in Leicester next May. Just as a subtle, subtle suggestion there. Yeah.
Wait,
Right.
is the call for presentations already up? Or
But
open?
Leicester next, so what I'm lining you up for, Carlos, is November conference, which is online. But the Leicester
No,
conference,
but I mentioned I wanted to go to the in-person one too.
yeah,
It's already
definitely,
open?
yeah. We're
no.
definitely open for presentations there, Carlos. Yes,
Tareth
yeah,
is shaking his head. Is Leicester not somewhere we want to go? Like, is that?
Yeah.
No, I
Go down.
I didn't know if it had a
it's-
reputation that preceded it or something.
I mean, Leicester. I mean, it's steeped in history. It was in the last maybe 10 years. That's where they found Richard III's remains. Is that right, Tareth?
Oh, in the like car park or whatever.
In a car
like,
in the car
park.
park.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm not
But
doing
yeah,
it for
but,
the
I mean,
city.
it's
I'm doing it for you guys.
one of
I know.
one of the like not the most oh God, I'm not going to badmouth any UK city.
Yeah. And if you do, just
No,
pop that in.
let
Go
Tareth.
on,
Tareth.
Tareth. Yeah.
Go.
Fuck Keynes. I'm sorry.
Go,
No,
Tareth.
I'll mute myself.
No,
sorry.
Leicester is a wonderful city with its own unique heritage, and I've been there once, and that was probably
All right,
enough.
thanks, Siri.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Okay,
Oh,
well, we're
move on.
about
Leicester.
we're about to Leicester. No, we're about at 50 minutes. I was going to say, does anyone have any well, before we get to closing thoughts, any advice for those who may be going to their first ICV in Prague not next year, in 2 years? Advice for the newbies, things to avoid, things to look out for in a good way, anything like that?
I guess do a little research
I
on the
don't
city
know what.
because.
Go on, Carlos.
sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's quick. Just do a little research on the city or the accommodations because
Yeah.
I was not aware that you could end up in a hotel without AC.
You had it. You had it.
It wasn't working. And
Well, I
then
know.
Yeah.
so I would say yes. Don't just go with the option that they provide without doing a little bit of
Sure.
research
Yeah.
to make sure that wherever you go, it is fitting of your needs. Because I still cannot get over just being in Paris and thinking, oh, I don't need to worry about these things. It's Paris. I've never been to Paris, so I wasn't thinking about any of this. I'm like, oh, sure.
Right.
AC, why would I worry about that? Or I brought one of my cups and then I didn't have a fridge, so
Oh, yeah.
there's that.
Hard to allegedly have mimosas when you don't have a when you don't have
What?
a good way
Me?
of keeping them cool. I mean, not that you would, but like
Never.
if one wanted to. It's like, no, I'm skipping the orange juice part. Fuck this. All right, now I get to mark it explicit. Okay. Anyone else?
I would say, pre-visiting an ICV, I'd be really interested to know what that, what someone imagines it to be like.
Yeah,
Because I dare say it's very different to what you experience.
that is a good. Yeah.
You know, if you could write on paper to someone that's not been to ICV, what do you think a 5-day International Congress of Vexillology looks like? I dare say that what
And
is
not fall asleep halfway through writing that.
yeah. I'd just be so intrigued as to what that's like. I guess my point is, you know, whatever you think it's going to be, it will be wildly different to that.
Right.
Be that in, you know, I guess why would people go, if you've not been to before, you'd predominantly be going to listen to the content of the speakers. But what you will find, which a beautiful kind of unexpected realization, is that, you know, it's a real kind of open, you know, genuine kind of community there. Be them from the old timers that have been to every ICV since the first, since ICV 1, or be that new faces. I think you'll find that every single person there is as open as and is a welcoming. You know, if you're someone that's been to, you know, as I you know, as I spoke to some of the I don't want to use the word old timers again, but those people that have been there every other year, they love the fact that there's new people there. You know, they welcome that, and as an international community, seeing new faces, seeing new voices, seeing, you know, new you know, seeing kind of new members delivering papers. It's a brilliant thing to see. It's also an encouraging thing to see. So, you know, just go there, you know, expecting that your expectations are going to be flipped upside down. But it, you know, it's going to, you know, it's going to be a memorable experience. All the same, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very well said. It's easy to forget sometimes that this community is so supportive, in no small part because it is like self-selecting. We have all classified ourselves as flag nerds, and we're going to hang out with fellow flag nerds who are, you know, good-natured, unless you start talking about colors and you're Tareth. But but like no, I mean, it is like a very, very supportive community that, yeah, you know, we take care of each other. So Michael, Tareth, any thoughts on that or closing thoughts?
I will say, don't question it, just go. Especially if you've never been out of the country, wherever you live. Prague is going to be an amazing place to visit, especially if you've never left anywhere before. It's a beautiful city. And I would say my tip is, don't ever do anything alone. Not in like a safety way. You know, like if you're going to go to dinner, literally ask random people at the conference, hey, do you want to go to dinner together?
Yes.
If you want to, like, you know, I had great conversations in my hotel lobby. Like, make sure you are turning on your gregariousness and just talk to random strangers, because those conversations could lead to something amazing. And I'm looking back even just at my Nava history, and I'm like, the most memorable moments are like at dinners, you know, in the hallways. Like, don't ever be alone. And it's awesome. Definitely do it. And also, if you need to book a hotel room, I'm a travel agent now, so
You got to get a plug in there too.
yeah, of course.
Fantastic. Tareth.
I think just following the theme of the expect the unexpected, from my side as well, that, and I don't think he was actually in the program, but was Arnold Ballard, the guy who designed the deaf flag, who did a presentation, which I was mesmerized by, because I had seen the flag before and I'd done a video about it about 4 years ago with a deaf friend of mine. so little gems like that for him to turn up. So to be able to, so I did actually go and meet him and his interpreter, of course, because I thought this is an opportunity not to miss, because I would never cross his path, and to be able to have that opportunity to actually have a 5-minute chat with him about the flag and what I'd done, and he was as thankful to me as I was to him for even creating this flag in the first place. So yeah, there must be thousands, dozens, other way around, of gem moments like that you would never get anywhere else. So I'm appreciative of being able to experience that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess to.
What about you, Andy? Because this was your first ICV, so
Well, Carlos, thank you for asking.
there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Was it what Leigh said? You had this, this idea of what this was going to be, and then it got flipped upside down.
That rang very true when Leigh was talking about. Yeah. I don't know. I tried to keep my idea of it pretty broad. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I tried to go in with the expectation of I'm gonna meet cool flag people. I'm gonna go see some flag talks. I don't have to work tech, so that's great. And yeah, I guess I went in with not many or not numerous expectations. So this checked all the boxes that I wanted it to, and then some that I didn't know were there. Yeah, and just again echoing pretty much what the four of you said, just it's that sense of community, which I expected this much of and got double that. Especially the dinner at Roger's place on Tuesday and everything that kind of flowed out from that. I mean, shoot, not naming any names, but if somebody had too much to drink or whatever, the community was there to be all right, let's get this person a cab, let's get them home, let's we take care of our own type thing. So it's not just we can hang out and talk flags. It's no, we are a group, a team. And I guess yeah, pretty much just that. I went in expecting about 50% of what I got, and I would have been happy with 50. So yeah, very, very cool experience. I will definitely be there in Prague. I don't know how many talks I'll even go to, but I would love to just hang out with everyone. Yeah, I guess that's kind of my closing or my final thoughts on that front anyway. But yeah, we're getting close to an hour. Did anyone have anything we didn't get to, or anything they wanted to mention before we kind of wrap up? I'm gonna take that as a no. All right, and I'm gonna edit out the silence in post as well.
Just let it make it
or I'm either gonna edit it out or add crickets. We'll see which one plays funnier.
Or you could ask it again, and we'll just say no straight away if that would help.
No.
Oh, okay.
You did a great job moderating this panel. That's why we don't have any.
Right, yeah, because we got to everything
thoughts.
and then some that we needed to. No.
Yes.
Well, hey, I appreciate the four of you so much. I appreciate the numerous people that I met there that weren't able to make it to this call. But yes, Tareth Peacock, Michael Green, Leigh Wetherall, Carlos A. Morales. I want to say Rodriguez. Ramirez. Sorry.
You know what?
It's been great chatting with you guys. Vex Heads, you've seen 3 of these 4 on their own episodes in their own right, and I've got a good feeling about Leigh popping up on a near future one as well. So, stick with us, y'all. This was so much fun, and I never know how to close things. Anybody got something?
Come to Nava 60 in Indianapolis, October 9th through 11th.
There we go.
There you go.
Including Tareth and Leigh.
Including Tareth and Leigh. Yeah. We will pay. I won't. Somebody will pay for your way. It may be you. I don't know. All right. On that note, on that bad joke, we're going to close it up here. We will see y'all on the fly side.